This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Not at fault. A Labor Department investigation clears Walmart in the death of an employee in a store oven. Solar scammed. A Truro-based solar company is ousted from industry group after taking deposits and ghosting customers. And unconstitutional. The Nova Scotia Supreme Court strikes down controversial wage restraint legislation.
A beautiful Saturday shaping up as high pressure dominates, bringing sunshine. A cold front approaching for Sunday into next week. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. The Nova Scotia government has closed the books on a tragic incident at a Halifax Walmart store that claimed the life of an employee. Gursimran Kaur was found dead inside a walk-in oven in the bakery section of the store in the fall of 2024. The CBC's Blair Rhodes has an update on the investigation.
Gursimran Kaur was found dead inside a walk-in oven at this Walmart in Halifax in October 2024. Halifax Regional Police had already said that Kaur's death was not a criminal matter. Now the Provincial Labour Department has announced that after what it describes as an extensive investigation, it could find no workplace safety violations that would explain her death. In a statement, the department said the oven was in proper working order at the time of the incident and there were no broader safety concerns associated with it. Kaur was discovered by her mother, who was also a Walmart employee. The two women had emigrated to Canada about 2 years before. Her loss was acutely felt by members of Nova Scotia's Sikh community. In a statement, Labour Minister Nolan Young said, "Our thoughts remain with the workers' family, friends and co-workers as they continue to cope with this tragic loss." Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Nova Scotia RCMP says 2 of the 4 youths arrested in connection to a sexual assault investigation involving a youth hockey team in the Truro area will not face charges. Earlier this week, police announced charges against 2 of the teen boys, including sexual assault and sexual assault with a weapon. RCMP say a hockey teammate reported being assaulted during a private gathering in October. According to court documents, the weapon was a miniature hockey stick. The 2 other youth in the case are facing charges of sexual assault with a weapon and sexual assault, among other charges. Investigators say they believe there are still victims out there who have yet not come forward. Well, more questions are being raised about a Truro-based solar installation company. Sunkist Energy says it has been restructuring, but clients who paid thousands of dollars are losing hope. And as the CBC's Luke Ettinger reports, now the CEO has gone quiet amid industry backlash.
Sunkist Energy has been ousted from a province-wide industry group as some businesses look to recoup debt and more customers request refunds. In a statement to CBC News, Solar Nova Scotia says they're aware of the situation, calling it unfortunate. In a prior interview, CEO Mark Shelley maintained the company was restructuring, not closing. Subsequent requests for comment were not returned, but former employees told CBC News the solar company's debt is estimated to be upwards of $8 million.
I don't sleep at night. It's very stressful.
Debbie Merritt wanted to install solar in hopes of saving on the power bill at her home in Salmon River, Nova Scotia. She paid Sunkist about $31,000 in September, but has now requested a refund.
If he had money to pay installers and order equipment, he would have money to give me back. Clearly, he doesn't have money to give me back or pay other people, so I have no reason to believe that it's ever going to get done.
I got this email telling me that my loan had been extended till April.
Stewiacke homeowner Mark de Carafel says he was in contact with Shelley, who promised to provide updates on his project in early February.
But when it was time to inquire about this plan for me, that's when I realized his phone was disconnected, that perhaps there is no plan coming.
De Carafel qualified for a federal Canada Greener Homes loan for a solar installation, but that money is not released until a project is complete. For the interim, Sunkist recommended customers apply for what's called a bridging loan through a company called Finance It to pay a deposit. A statement from Finance It says contractors are rigorously vetted and continually monitored. A spokesperson said as a result of their most recent assessment, they're no longer working with Sunkist Energy.
Oh, it says goodbye. It's not just kiss your power bill goodbye, kiss Sunkist goodbye.
And it's not just customers out money. Pictou landlord Sherry Blinkhorn says she's owed $15,000 in back rent.
I was trying to help the guy, and the help in return, this is what I got, stuck with it. I feel bad on so many levels about this. Just, it's just so hurtful to the business community, to everything.
And some companies are taking legal action, including electrical supplier Gullivan International, which is suing Sunkist and Mark Shelley for about $346,000. Gullivan alleges a significant number of invoices for materials were not paid. No statement of defense has been filed. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Truro.
And we've got Ryan in with a first look at the weather. And the weekend's here, off to a pretty good start.
Off to a great start. What a Friday, and a really nice Saturday on the way as well. We've got winds that are going to pick up. They'll be stronger than they were for Friday. In from the south, sustained near 20, even 30 kilometers per hour. Some gusts to 40 and even to 50 kilometers per hour in Cape Breton. Strongest winds will be Inverness County coming in off the Cape Breton Highlands. You can see temperatures will be right near 0 to +1 across Cape Breton. We'll climb into the 2, 3, 4, even 5 degrees possible Digby County towards Annapolis Royal. So Saturday is going to be really nice. Now Sunday, temperatures are going to be mild along the Atlantic coastline, but note the cold air starting to charge in here to northern areas. So a bit of a split for sure. Colchester, Cumberland, Truro, the Valley won't really climb much above 1, and that's thanks to the incoming cold front. And here we go with the timeline of all this. Note the front coming in from the north. That will kick the cloud cover up as early as Sunday morning, and then that front will sag in, and we are going to be looking at indeed the chance for flurries and yes, some showers mixing in with this front as it comes through. That will then move to the south. We'll see a couple of centimeters of accumulation, and behind that front, oh boy, Long John worthy weather, the coldest air in about a month. Thankfully, not here for a long time. We'll talk about it with your full 7-day coming up.
All right, so we'll have to stay warm. Thanks for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, more than a decade after controversial wage restraint legislation was brought in by a former Liberal government, the Nova Scotia Supreme Court has struck it down. As Michael Gorman reports, Labour leaders are heralding the decision.
Who's got the power?
We have the power!
More than a decade after union members from across the province protested wage restraint legislation brought in by a former Liberal government, now they're declaring victory.
It is a big day. Definitely a long-fought battle, but definitely a victory for workers' rights in this province.
On Friday, a group of union leaders learned the Nova Scotia Supreme Court ruled Bill 148 unconstitutional. The legislation introduced by former Premier Stephen McNeil's government in 2015 imposed a 4-year wage pattern. That included 2 years of wage freezes. It also took away a retirement payout known as the Public Service Award. The ruling gives the government and unions 12 months to work out a remedy, or the decision reverts back to the court. Finance Minister John Lohr says his government is weighing its options.
We will take some time to consider what it means for finance.
Mullins says she knows the legislature is debating a deficit budget, but she says the government should also have been prepared for this ruling.
So they knew full well that this was coming in one way or the other. So I would think in good governance, they would have projected what was the possibility there.
Mullen is calling on the government not to appeal the ruling and get down to negotiations. Michael Gorman, CBC News at Province House.
The province could soon have new abilities to intervene in Halifax's development plans. Housing Minister John White tabled a bill Friday that extends the work of the Executive Panel on Housing for 2 more years. The bill also gives him power to order the construction of water and sewer lines, and it gives the Municipal Affairs Minister power to amend Halifax's service boundary. White says the changes are necessary to ensure housing projects can move forward quickly.
The construction you're seeing is the work of the panel. And in this regard, we're trying to put all of the players, the key players, at the table for the conversation. When you look at Halifax Water, they play an important role, and projects cannot move forward without them at the table. We feel they're missing. We want to put them at the table because they bring valuable experience.
Opposition leaders say the province is overstepping and should leave municipal planning to Halifax Council. Ottawa will not declare Wind West a project of national interest until private partners have signed on. Premier Tim Houston says that's not a problem. But as the CBC's Taryn Grant reports, he did not take kindly to questions about the status of his ambitious proposal.
What we need is a private sector proponent to be ready to put it forward.
The federal energy minister says Ottawa is working with Nova Scotia to make Wind West a reality, but industry has to commit before the proposal will get federal investment.
And when we have those proponents ready, that's when they would go to the major projects office, and that's when their decision would be to move it from a strategy to an individual project.
At Province House Friday, reporters asked the Premier about getting a private sector partner. He bristled at the questions.
This is an incredible.
Someone from the private sector to contribute to a transmission line.
People are interested in this opportunity. Private money is interested in this opportunity. I don't have to get them interested. They're already interested because it's the best wind resource in the world.
Houston walked away from the press gallery less than 4 minutes after entering the room. The opposition say it's part of an ongoing accountability problem.
I'm not sure who he thinks he's responsible to, but I think Nova Scotians are noticing.
The fact that he walked out on something that he's passionate about, I think, speaks volumes in terms of transparency.
At least one private company has publicly expressed interest in building turbines in Nova Scotia waters. More companies could be working on proposals behind the scenes. What's less clear is who will want to invest in transmission cables, which are estimated to cost $20 billion. Ottawa just announced money to pay for a feasibility study on transmission, and Houston says this study could add to the appeal. Taryn Grant, CBC News at Province House.
There are calls for the federal government to reconsider a decision to close a more than century-old research farm in Nepan. In January, Agri-Food Canada issued layoff notices to over 1,000 employees. A spokesperson said that would result in the closure of the Cumberland County Research Farm and 6 others across the country. Among those calling on the federal agriculture minister to reconsider the decision is Liberal MP Alana Hurdle. The union, which represents workers, says there are multi-year projects underway at the site.
So that research is not stopped yet, but the plan is to stop it. So we do have this window where we are calling upon the government to reverse the decision to shut the research centers down.
He says the cuts put the jobs of 9 people at risk at the Nepan farm. The Atlantic Vice President with Restaurants Canada says rising costs and staff shortages are having a big impact on restaurants in the region. She says a 2-month tax holiday last year helped boost sales during the winter. But without that this year, lots of food operators are worried about breaking even.
The harsh reality for our operators is that even though their expenses are up, Canadians don't have that much discretionary funds to spend in restaurants anymore. Times are tough all around. Our bills are up, but so are the bills for Canadians. And so even if it would be logical, oh, my costs have gone up 20% in the last 2 years, let's raise menu prices 20%. You can't do that because you will lose customers.
Cormier adds it is a particularly challenging time for seasonal businesses. Good news for the seafood industry in the province. China is getting rid of its tariffs on lobster and crab imports this weekend. Starting March 1st, there will no longer be a 25% levy on the goods. China is also removing other agricultural tariffs on Sunday, including the 100% tariffs on canola meal and pea imports. The initial deal also included canola seed tariffs. Today's Chinese announcement made no mention of those. The tariff suspension will be in place until the end of 2026. Well, it's not Theodore, but the Department of National Defense accepted a new tugboat today in Halifax. CFAV Canso is the third naval large tug for the Royal Canadian Navy. The new boat will improve daily operations in the harbor and will be used to help dock and undock other vessels. 2 more large naval tugs have also been acquired after the federal government expanded their contract with the Canadian ship manufacturer. Speaking of the Navy in the harbor, Ryan will be up next with the full weather forecast. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And Ryan is back with his full weather forecast. Okay, so Friday, check. Sunshine, check.
Yep.
And pretty good weekend ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a beautiful day today. Temps a bit cooler than yesterday in some cases, but the Atlantic coastline really popped nicely on the plus side. Now, with that sunshine today, took the opportunity to go and look at NASA's MODIS satellite, and I want to share it with you here. Just an absolutely terrific shot of the view from space when there's hardly a cloud in the sky. It's so nice to get a glimpse of the Maritimes, and look at that. You can see some sea ice, obviously, and lots of snow. Note the sea ice in and around the Northumberland Strait and PEI, and that got me thinking we should probably look at how sea ice is doing. So there's the updated chart, and that last blue dash column there, that's the weekly sea ice concentration, which is about 20%. It should be closer to 35 or 40, but it is up from recent years.
Well,
so
that's good news.
That's some good news. Now, speaking of the snow, this is a live shot from Wentworth, and a beautiful, beautiful evening there. And yeah, a few folks out on the hills enjoying things, thanks to Nova Scotia webcams and of course Wentworth. And yeah, you can see a few folks heading up the lifts there and enjoying the snow. And I dare say few folks will be flocking to Wentworth and Martock and Smoky this weekend with those temps looking pretty good, conditions looking pretty good. There are the temperatures out there right now. 2 in Halifax. It's -3 in Kentville, -4 in Amherst, -6 in Ingonish Beach. Now let's walk you through the forecast here. Let's look at the winds. And yeah, they haven't been too bad today, which is great. They will get gustier tomorrow from the south, as I mentioned earlier. There's the high pressure area moving off to the east. We've got this next low coming in, and this low will really be the driver of the next few days. Southerly winds ahead of it, that's what we kick into tomorrow. And then the northerly winds on the other side of that front that's going to draw in this air mass right here that's rolling into the prairies, sweeps into the Great Lakes, and then in for us as we move into Monday of next week. Let's have a look at the timeline. So tonight it is going to be dropping to around -8 to about -13 for the province. We'll be looking at temperatures closer to -5 and through the Tri-County area. The winds are going to be relatively light. Just not a bad night for this time of year. Now, note tomorrow, tons of sunshine. The winds picking up from the south, especially into the afternoon, as the front moves off to our north. And so as a result, yeah, those southerly winds sustain near 30. We're going to be gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. Strongest winds will be here coming in off the Cape Breton Highlands for places like Inverness County. We'll be near +1 for eastern parts of the mainland. Into central parts, we'll be talking about temperatures ranging from 1 to 3 degrees. And our warmest temperatures tomorrow with this flow from the south will be found Annapolis, Royal, Digby, down through Meteghan and Yarmouth. That's where we have our best chances of 4 or 5 degree temperatures, putting Keji in that as well. And then for Sunday, you can see temperatures 4 or 5 degrees along the Atlantic coastline, much cooler in the north. And these temperatures along the Atlantic coastline will be falling into the afternoon as that next cold front starts to approach. And here we go. So let's see here. Cloudy Saturday night and early Sunday, but relatively quiet. Sunday afternoon, the chance for some showers and flurries ahead of this front, and then the front comes through. Our best chance of seeing some even accumulating snow will be Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, and with a chance for some onshore flurries and snow squalls lingering into Monday. A heads up for you folks, especially northern Cape Breton. Monday could be a tricky driving day, especially north of Mabu. Now, we are looking at a trace to a couple centimeters of accumulation with that front coming through. Not a lot, but enough to make the roads a bit greasy through Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. So if you're traveling, a heads up on that. And we could see some pockets that could push up towards 5 centimeters and exceeding that as we move into Monday for Cape Breton. And behind that front, look at this Arctic air in place. But beyond that, we're kind of riding the jet stream as we move right through next week. So yes, Monday is cold, Tuesday recovering. Riding the jet stream means that will leave us open to the possibility of some systems coming through. Wednesday looks like the next possibility, but boy, forecast models are really wishy-washy on that one right now. We'll keep you posted.
I know you're going to stay on top of it. Thanks for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
The top men's curling teams from across Canada are in St. John's for the 2026 Montana's Brier. As the CBC's Laura Howells reports, it will be a busy and emotional week for spectators and athletes alike.
Here in downtown St. John's, the 2026 Montana's Brier is kicking off. 18 teams, thousands of fans, and of course, hometown hero Brad Gushu's last kick at the Brier. It's going to be a big week, and the city is ready to hurry hard.
Well, we're here to see, to watch the curling and to see Gushu and his last
last hurrah, hopefully win it, bring it back to Newfoundland. It's a really good party and a good excuse to get out and see people and have fun.
Brad's last year, retirement, and Team Canada on a huge gold medal, and it's going to be fantastic.
I think it'll be a very emotional week too for many.
I'm hoping Nathan Young's Newfoundland team does well too, because I know they're really good young curlers.
We're going to looking at some of the best teams in the world.
Here at the Mary Brown Center, they've been getting the ice ready, turning it from hockey ice to curling ice over the course of 5 days.
It has to be perfectly level for curling ice, but we also had to paint over the regiment logos. And then we just build the ice up. The curling ice is thicker than hockey ice and a little bit colder.
The recent snowstorms have caused some challenges with getting equipment over and flight delays, but now they're ready to go.
9 years ago, we had the Brier here, but it seems like yesterday.
The last time the championship was here, Gushue won his first Brier. Now back on home soil, he'll try to repeat history. He's won the Brier 6 times, tying him with curling legend Randy Ferbey for the most wins ever. Gushue could end his career with a record-setting number 7, but it won't be easy. Team Gushue will be competing against Team Brad Jacobs, which just won Olympic gold, and features Gushue's former teammate, Brett Gallant. People in this province will never forget 20 years ago when Gushue's own team won Olympic gold, the first Newfoundlanders and Labradorians ever to do so. To pull off the Brier, you need about 400 volunteers, and they're expecting almost 130,000 seats filled for all the games combined. People are flying in from across the country, like these 3 sisters from Alberta.
We came in 2017, the 2 of us did, with 5 of us, and so we just brought a few extras this year to come back this time.
Here at the Embassy Pub nearby, they're expecting a lot more customers this week.
We are expecting some serious traffic coming into the pub. January and February months are always really slow, so it can't come at a better time.
The Brier will be a boost for the local economy.
You know, the economic impact of a Brier is around $10 to $12 million. And during this time of year in the shoulder season, as we call it, it is very important for bars and restaurants, hotels to have that type of activity. The other thing about the Brier is it gives us exposure on television. And that kind of advertising is priceless, really.
Across the street from the Brier is The Patch, curling's party place at the St. John's Convention Centre. Fans can meet here for free, hear live music, and watch the games together on the big screen. It's going to be a huge week for curling fans, so get ready for the Brier to sweep the city. Laura Howell, CBC News, St. John's.
Coming up, what China's tariff suspension on some Canadian goods could mean for the local lobster industry.
Well, there has certainly been a lot of talk about tariffs and the impact that they're having on the lobster fishery here in Nova Scotia. But what really is happening? Well, we're here with Chris Viscato of the Nova Scotia Seafood Alliance to ask him a few questions about what it's been like the last few weeks. Obviously, with the news that there's now a deal on EVs with China, which was a trade irritant, and what impact that might have on the sale of lobsters. What can you tell us about that deal and the impact of it?
Well, the big thing that we're going to see is it's going to come into place on March 1st. So really, we're still in the last lagging days of the impacts of those 25% tariffs. That being said, we've had some market changes that have happened that have made the Chinese market really want our product. Namely, there was a monsoon in Vietnam that killed the majority of the export-ready spiny lobster that usually moves into China for the Lunar New Year. What that means is that there's been a greater demand for a Canadian product, and there's been a willingness to pay for it. Once the tariffs actually get lifted on March 1st, we're anticipating that market gap that was achieved by the Vietnamese lobster is going to continue, and then we're going to see probably some expanded presence of Canadian product. Really what we've got is about a 9-month window now that we can see free market uptake into China, provided that the tariffs are lifted on March 1st as promised.
So it's interesting because most people think maybe that the lobster trade with China was stymied. How are Canadian lobsters making their way to China if there's this trade irritant between the two countries?
Well, what we've seen is China severely step back. So to say that they're moving at the same levels that they were before is just not true. What we saw lobster begin to move through other channels. So we know that the U.S. has a lobster fishery as well. They took some of their product and preferentially moved it to China, where they had a 15% tariff advantage, and then Canada was able to fill that U.S. hole that was developed by that product moving through. So it wasn't that there was a complete hole in the market for North American lobster. But what we have seen is the development of some other species in that market that are really offering a strong competitive edge relative to Canada. And really our focus now is to make sure that we can maintain that shelf space, especially in this little period that we have when the tariffs are going to be lifted.
And so getting back that market share that was once Canada's, how difficult or how do you go about doing that given the state of the world and the state of trade right now?
That's a great question. That's really what we're turning our minds to. I mean, we have to accept that because of the change that we've seen in overall supply, Canada went from supporting 44% of the lobsters consumed in China down to about 22% in that last year. And that's just because we've seen this rise of these other products in there. Now we've got a little bit of a window for us to sit back and say, okay, why is it that the Chinese customer has chosen this Vietnamese farmed lobster? Is it a price point? Is it a color? Is it a quality? Once we get around to that type of answer, then we can make sure that when we get back into that shelf space with a very highly competitive environment, that we're able to maintain that customer base in China and have them continuing to purchase the product.
What's the price been like?
The price has been actually quite healthy. We had a fairly low wharf price actually going on in December. It really recovered once the impacts of that loss of supply to the Chinese market manifested itself. So when we came into January, we saw quite a substantial increase in the price at the wharf, and this is translated into the pricing of product going into China. To be honest, we were really surprised after Christmas when our phone started ringing and it was Chinese buyers looking to procure lobster product in time for the Lunar New Year, which happens on Monday of this year. So we're pretty much right at the precipice, and everybody is basically moving as much product as they can to make sure customers have something to eat.
And in terms of product available, how is Nova Scotia doing in that regard?
Well, really overall, the winter has been really about par with where we've been on other years, at least with last year. I mean, we've been down a little bit, trending down since about 2016, but at the same time, we did have some challenges coming on in early December just with the shippability of the product. A lot of those issues seem to have been starting to slack off a little bit. Much harder grading going on in the plants, being a lot more careful about how we're handling the product. So we seem to be experiencing some success of having enough inventory. Now, again, you look around and it's snowing. Lobsters don't move a heck of a lot when it gets cold. So our supply coming from the water is getting pretty slim. So we're relying on product that people have been having in tank houses and whatnot. And that's what's been feeding the market thus far.
And market supply or market share is so important, obviously. How concerned are you about the spiny lobster from Vietnam making more of a comeback to China, and what impact that would have on Canadian lobster?
Very much so. I mean, as I said, they lost 99% of their supply in that monsoon. Well, immediately afterwards, they began to build back back, and they built back better, stronger cages, further offshore so they wouldn't be impacted by freshwater incursions. They've restocked those cages. We have about a 10 to 12 month window before we're going to be faced with exactly the same competition in the market. So we do have a lot of concern, but we do have time. We have 9 months to work together to find a strategy to make sure that we maintain that shelf space and customers continue to choose our products.
All right, we'll check in again with you sometime about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the time.
Coming up, Bill Clinton appears before a congressional committee to testify about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And Mark Carney arrives in India today to begin trade discussions and foster diplomatic relations. Welcome back. Bill Clinton has testified before the U.S. House Committee investigating late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He told the members about his interactions with the Epstein, but says he didn't know about the crimes the financier committed until later. Kate McKenna has more on the former U.S. president's testimony and the Democrats' push to get the current president to testify.
Bill Clinton says if he had known about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, he would have turned him in himself. The former president spent the day being grilled in a closed-door deposition by Republicans and Democrats, but he posted his opening statement online, saying he was doing this because he loved his country, and also saying America was built upon the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents. The second reason I'm here is because the girls and women whose lives Jeffrey Epstein destroyed deserve not only justice, but healing. My brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light. I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong. During the day, Republicans and Democrats both came out to give updates, saying the president took tough questions from both parties. Democrats say Clinton's testimony creates a precedent for presidents responding to congressional subpoenas, saying Trump must also be deposed.
Donald Trump, as we know, needs to come before this committee. He's been caught in multiple lies as it relates to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
But Republicans are keen to emphasize the ties between Clinton and Epstein. They crossed paths many times over the years, and the former president's name came up in the files along with pictures of both of them.
There are a lot of photos that have been released by the Department of Justice as well as the Epstein estate. There are a lot of email correspondence that included President Clinton. We know President Clinton had, and Secretary Clinton confirmed this yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein was in the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. We know that Bill Clinton flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 27 times. So those are questions that we're going to ask.
Clinton has always maintained he had nothing to do with Epstein after 2006, and simply being in the files doesn't equate to wrongdoing. Democrats and Republicans have both said they expect transcripts of Clinton's deposition to be released. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Washington.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is in India. He is seeking new ways to diversify and expand Canada's trade. And New Delhi is signaling it has a big appetite for many things Canada has to offer. Both sides are trying to reset strained relations as they deal with Donald Trump and his tariff threats. The CBC's Catherine Cullen has more from Mumbai.
The Prime Minister has come to India looking to rewrite the relationship with a big emphasis on investment and trade. Saskatchewan's Premier has traveled with him, hopeful Canada is making up for lost time with India.
And I would say from a trade perspective that we've fallen behind a number of other countries around the world.
This is a big reset.
India is keen too. The High Commissioner says his country wants a lot of what Canada is selling, particularly energy, from nuclear to oil and gas.
Energy, there is appetite to which even Canada cannot fulfill. And we're willing to buy whatever Canada is offering on crude, on LPG, on LNG.
A far cry from recent years, from Justin Trudeau's awkward visit to 2023 allegations Indian agents were involved in the murder of a Sikh activist in BC. But Carney has made it clear he wants to defrost the relationship and jumpstart trade talks.
India is the most populous country in the world. It is the fourth largest economy. It is the fastest growing economy, and it's an important geopolitical actor. For us to be able to diversify non-U.S. exports, India has to be a critical part of that puzzle.
Saskatchewan's Premier says he's hopeful a new pipeline to Canada's west coast could be part of the answer.
I would suggest that we as Canadians have a responsibility to provide and displace some of the dirtier forms of energy, some of the more unethical forms of energy.
But questions hang over the two countries' security relationship after one federal official told journalists the violence and repression fueled by the Indian government has stopped. Activists from Canada's Sikh community insist the intimidation continues.
I said it was the 800-pound gorilla. It's the issue that could derail this reset.
Government officials insist there is an ongoing conversation about security right alongside the talk of trade. Carney is beginning his trip here in the country's business capital. On Monday in New Delhi, he'll meet with India's Prime Minister. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Mumbai.
More than 2 weeks after the mass shooting at a school in Tumbler Ridge, BC, students there are heading back to class. Educators are making special provisions for them, but as Catherine Bargout reports, they face a long road ahead.
Things look a lot different at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. Instead of a bricks and mortar building, portables have been set up on the grounds of the elementary school, so the kids don't have to go back to the building where their classmates were murdered.
I think it's a little early, but at the same time,
Do you really want your kid just to hang out at home and do nothing and be on social media and think about what has happened?
Dennis Campbell has 2 kids at Tumbler Ridge. His daughter Quinn was in the bathroom when the shooter entered the school. She survived because a quick-thinking phys ed teacher called out to her to come hide in his classroom. Quinn wants to get back to school, but is anxious about it.
We're just going to take it one step at a time, and we'll figure it out as we go, right? We're all in the same learning curve, I'll say. So it's baby steps.
The province says teachers and students who don't feel ready to go back don't have to. Online learning will be available for those who need more time. Counselors will be on hand for staff and students at the elementary and secondary school. Security will be on site too.
The return to class will be gradual with shortened days, says the local school board chair.
But we just want to ensure that staff and students and families can come back at their own pace and in a healthy way through what they call a trauma-informed lens.
Dennis Campbell says his family will take it day by day. His kids plan to be in class, but if they decide it's too soon, they can stay home until they're ready. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
A Fifth Estate Radio-Canada investigation into spit hoods used to protect first responders from bodily fluids found they were involved in more than a dozen deaths in Canada. As Bridget Noel shows us, despite the risks they pose, they're used all over the country, even on minors, largely unchecked. And a warning, some of the images you're about to see are disturbing.
Stephanie Harvey said she'd never heard of spit hoods until she discovered her brother was wearing one when he died.
Si, là, il n'y aurait pas eu les vidéos, on n'aurait jamais su qu'il y avait eu un masque, là.
28-year-old Bruno Pierre Harvey was going through a mental health crisis when Quebec City Police intervened, forcing his head into a mesh and fabric hood meant to prevent him from spitting. He died moments later. His is one of 17 deaths involving spit hoods identified by the Fifth Estate. In nearly all instances, the spit hood seems to have been misused.
Is it safe to use a spit hood on a person who's very much in crisis?
No.
Retired police officer Michael Aruda is a crisis intervention expert and an authority on the use of spit masks.
It's a restraining piece of equipment. There must be a protocol put into place before and after the use of the mask.
Yet our investigation found these protocols, when they exist, are not always followed. While it says right on the label that misuse can be deadly, some first responders never receive specialized training.
The most popular spit hood in Canada is this model, the Transport Hood. It was invented by an American carpet installer who got the idea while watching cop shows. Our investigation revealed it's never been certified by Canadian regulators. In fact, none of the federal or provincial departments we contacted took responsibility. Meanwhile, experts say there exists little reliable data on the safety of these devices.
Generally, the studies are pretty limited. They tend to be healthy individuals that are volunteers.
We couldn't find any studies about spit hood use on children, but we discovered the RCMP and most provinces and territories allow spit hoods to be used on minors.
We shouldn't use it on children. There is a traumatizing part to it.
Around the world, several jurisdictions have started to restrict or ban the use of this device. But in Canada, many institutions continue to rely on them with no plan to review how or when they are used. Brigitte Noel, CBC News, Montreal.
An incident seen by many as a show of disrespect for the American women's gold medal winning hockey team continues to cause a stir. Donald Trump called the men's team after it won gold at the Olympics, and the players laughed at his crack about the women's squad. Tanya Fletcher reports on the response of players on both teams.
Days after both the U.S. men's and women's hockey teams won Olympic gold, what happened next continues to steal the spotlight.
We're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that.
U.S. President Donald Trump joked at the women's expense as the men laughed along.
I just thought the joke was distasteful and unfortunate. Now I have to sort of sit, and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility.
The men are also facing questions about their response to that locker room call.
Why would you laugh when they got invited?
I mean, I don't really have an answer. Honestly,
It was just a whirlwind of a moment.
Certainly sorry for how we responded to it in that moment. Things that just happened really quick there.
It's unfortunate that, that kind of occurred. We have nothing but love and respect for the women's team.
This is definitely a dark cloud, and it's unfortunate.
Jody Vance was the first woman in Canada to host a TV sports show in primetime. She's hopeful all of this will ultimately build momentum for women's sport.
I like it being in the conversation that things have to change. We thought they'd changed more than they have, and I think that's where the disappointment lies.
As the Olympians head back to home ice, that disappointment is felt by some local fans too.
We have little girls that see that, and we have little boys that see that, and they're taught to just go along with it.
As the women they look up to carve a path forward, they have a message for young hockey hopefuls.
We need to stay positive, we need to stay strong together, we need to focus on the right things.
Their voice is being amplified now more than ever, a silver lining to a gold controversy. Tanya Fletcher, CBC News, Vancouver.
Canada's Paralympic team is headed to Italy for the Paralympic Games that start next week. Cheering at the send-off for members of Canada's Paralympic team. The athletes had a parade through Toronto's Pearson International Airport. The Paralympic Winter Games open March 6th. It will be the 50th time the world's Paralympians gather to compete.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
And we are back to wrap things up. Okay, this weekend we say goodbye to February and hello to March.
Hard to believe.
I know.
I mean, February is a short month, but this one, sailed along, even though we had boatloads of snow, lots of systems,
shoveling, yeah.
lots of shoveling, and the temperatures thankfully weren't as cold as January and at times December. So we'll crunch those final numbers next week. But it will be interesting to see where we land in the end of that. Let's have a look at our viewer picture of the day as we roll into Chester Basin, and note how far inland Chester Basin is, or how far it is from the ocean. So susceptible to some tides there, obviously. And this is just an absolutely stunning picture from Janet.
Neat, huh?
So neat. It almost looks like shingles of ice.
It does. Or like a deck of cards kind of spread out a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting formation.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. So thanks to Janet for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Keep them coming. And as we look at the forecast for Saturday, Chester Basin around 2-3 degrees. Most of the province around 2 or 3 degrees. But we should climb into the 4, even 5 degree range.
Wow.
Yarmouth, Digby County, Annapolis Royal, nicely shielded from that southerly flow coming in off the water, which will be a little bit cooler. Cape Breton right near 0 to 1. Temperatures will be mildest along the Atlantic coastline on Sunday with the northerly wind coming in and that cold front approaching. Temperatures near 1 for northern areas. Let's break down the timeline one more time. Here comes the front that is going to be bringing the increasing clouds for Saturday night. We've got the front that's going to be sailing through with showers and flurries ahead of the front. And then we're looking at, some accumulation possible as the front comes through. A couple of centimeters, a trace to a couple of centimeters in most cases, but we could see upwards of 5 centimeters for northern areas of the province, especially the North Shore. And the Cape Breton Highlands could pick up more into Monday, but most of the province will be quiet on Monday, but cold. Get ready for a push of cold, but recovering next week.
Okay. Well, a man in Ottawa had a close encounter of the bird kind after getting chased by a duo of wild turkeys.
But a nearby stranger, was able to help the man escape from the persistent poultry. Take a look.
So I see a couple of turkeys. I didn't think too much of it. I said, hey, what's up, turkeys? Then they started coming at me. I was just minding my business, walking down the sidewalk, walking home from work, just on Prince of Wales. They started approaching me and I was just like, okay, I don't want none of whatever this is, I don't want it.
At one point, you turn around and kick some snow at them.
Yeah, because at this point they were starting to get up, they were giving me the business.
I just happened to look over and see these two turkeys kind of attacking this poor guy, and as far as I know, he didn't really do anything. They just kind of came from the surrounding field.
But then some lady in her car just yelled like, "Hey, come on, hop in!"
And so you didn't hesitate jumping in.
No, I was just like, you know what? She's some random lady in the car. I look like the Unabomber, so she's the one who's reaching out here. And honestly, I just wanted to get away from these turkeys. I didn't know how far they were gonna follow me.
What a story.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, that is it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.